least we have 5 and 6. Okay. Silver nitrate and sodium phosphate are reacted in equal amounts of 200 grams each. Each is a very important word. Okay, that means both of these are 200 grams. So even though I don't see two numbers, 200 grams of silver nitrate reacts with 200 grams of sodium phosphate. How many grams of silver phosphate are produced? Okay, so I'm going to set up my T-charts. If this is grams of silver nitrate, then this is grams of silver nitrate. That equals moles of silver nitrate. So this is moles of silver nitrate. Then I switch substances, moles of silver phosphate, moles of silver phosphate, to grams of silver phosphate. So in our first T-chart, silver weighs 108, plus nitrogen is 14, plus 16 times 3 for my 3 oxygens. So silver nitrate weighs 170 grams. That equals 1 mole. These are in a 3 to 1 mole ratio, and 1 mole equals the molar mass of silver phosphate. So silver is 108, but times 3 plus phosphate is 31 plus 16 times 4. So this is 419 grams. 200 divided by 170 divided by 3 times 419 gives me 164 grams of silver phosphate. I wish I was done, but I'm not. So for my second T-chart, grams of sodium phosphate come below, moles of sodium phosphate above, moles of sodium phosphate below, switch substances, moles of silver phosphate, moles of silver phosphate to grams of silver phosphate. What is nice, I don't have to recalculate these 3 boxes. This is a 1, this is a 1, and that's 419. There's a 1 in front of Na3PO4, and this is always a 1 because 1 mole equals molar mass. So the only calculation I have to do is 23 times 3 for sodiums, plus 31, plus 16 times 4, gives me 164 grams. 200 divided by 164 times 419 gives me 511 grams of Ag3PO4. This is obviously my smaller answer, making silver nitrate my limiting reactant. With silver nitrate being my limiting reactant, that's what comes below to find the excess. So 200 grams of silver nitrate, and I want to find grams of sodium phosphate. So this is grams of silver nitrate, moles of silver nitrate, moles of silver nitrate, and then switch substances, moles of sodium phosphate, and moles of sodium phosphate. 1 mole equals 170 grams of AgNO3. Mole ratio, 3 moles to 1 mole. And 1 mole equals the mass of Na3PO4. At least we don't have to redo the molar masses. We've already used them in number 5. So 200 divided by 170 divided by 3 times 164 equals 64.3 grams of Na3PO4 used. Again, when it comes from the T-chart, that's how much we've used. We were given 200 grams of Na3PO4. So when I subtract these, 200 minus 64.3 gives me 136 grams of Na3PO4. Smiley face. Okay, I hope this helped. I'll see you in the morning if you need extra help. I'm there at 7:30.